Video calls are the only way Qazi Rashed Al Haq and his wife Fariha Nahar see each other.
Are you okay?
5 days after they were married in Bangladesh in February last year, Qazi returned to Australia, where he'd migrated to 12 years ago. They've been separated ever since.
I didn't know that for the first year of my marriage that would be that miserable.
They had planned to reunite in Bangladesh in May before coming to Australia together on his skilled worker visa.
And I just want to be with her so that I can keep her safe, and then that way it meant to be.
Ordinarily, Fariha would have been one of the hundreds of thousands of people who move to Australia each year. The hard border put a stop to that. In the September quarter, more people left the country than came in, leading to our first population decline in more than 100 years. Annual population growth is now under 1%, and the government predicts that will slow to almost nothing.
So by 2030, around 1 million fewer people calling Australia home than we would have seen otherwise.
And despite the jokes, there's no baby boom. Australia's fertility rate is the lowest it's ever been, at less than 1.7. It's below replacement level. A recession and a health crisis is enough to make many couples have second thoughts.
When people are afraid of their jobs, afraid of the viability of their businesses, they might be more inclined not to have children.
Stagnant population growth has a big economic impact, both good and bad. The agriculture sector, normally reliant on backpackers and migrant workers, is struggling to find staff, and that's pushing up the price of food. Places like this, the University of Western Australia, contribute to our third largest export, the education sector, which has been severely impacted by the closed border. If it remains shut until the end of June, modelling by the Mitchell Institute estimates the number of international student visa holders here will be cut in half. It says that will slash almost $11.5 billion from our economy. On the other side of the argument, Australia's long-running streak of soaring house prices could be tempered if there are fewer people trying to buy or rent them, and the power to negotiate a pay rise could return to workers if there's less people competing for jobs. Migration agents say Australia's once world-renowned reputation is in the balance.
We have 400 students at the moment who are sitting in Latin America debating as to whether they want to come to Australia now. Many of those are starting to look at other options, for example, Canada.
And so is Qazi.
Maybe there is a chance that if I do start processing my Canadian applications, that's how maybe I can meet with my wife earlier than what I would be in Australia.
He'd prefer to stay in the country he's made his home for more than a decade. But if leaving Australia for Canada means he can finally be with his wife, he'll do it. And Australia's population would have shrunk again.